To our top story now, 3 men injured, 1 critically after a fire broke out in Brampton. Now we're going to take you to a live look at the scene at Steeles and Winston Churchill. This is where the incident began just after midnight. It appears there were 2 locations involved. The second is at Steeles and James Potter Road, which is closer to Mavis. Now paramedics say 1 victim has a critical head injury. The second victim taken to a local hospital with minor injuries. The third man treated and released at the scene. So far, there's no word on charges. Halton police not saying much on how this all happened. Keep in mind, though, there are some road closures in effect. Winston Churchill completely closed between 5 Side Road and Steeles Avenue. Firefighters quickly extinguishing a 2-alarm fire at a home in East York. The fire erupting around 4 this morning at a home on Gowan Avenue near Pape and Cosburn. This viewer video sent to us courtesy of Tyler Carty. It appears the fire started on the back porch, then spread to the home, but still no word on what sparked these flames. Firefighters were able to contain it to just the 1 home and no reports of any injuries. A female pedestrian struck by a car in Rexdale last night, and now she is facing charges of failing to use a crosswalk. Now, this happened around midnight at Albion and Highway 27 area. You heard Carrie mention in her traffic report there. Now, the victim, who is in her 30s, is in hospital with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. If convicted of this charge, the penalty is a fine. It's $35 plus surcharges, a total of $50 in this case. All right, moving along to other news, the U.S. says it will no longer be a part of the United Nations Human Rights Council. And the reason, the Trump administration claims it calls for reforms that were ignored, and countries known for human rights abuses still sit on the council. But the underlying reason could be the international hammering the U.S. is taking on its move to separate children from their migrant parents as they come into the country from Mexico. U.S. President Donald Trump taking another shot at Canada when it comes to trade. Speaking to a business group yesterday, the U.S. president claims that we sneak into the U.S., buy goods, and smuggle them home to avoid tariffs.
Talking about people living in Canada, coming into the United States, and smuggling things back into Canada because the tariffs are so massive. The tariffs to get common items back into Canada are so high that they have to smuggle them in. They buy shoes and they wear them. They scuff them up. They make them sound old or look old. No, we're treated horribly.
Okay, so Trump seemingly confusing tariffs and duties. By the way, under NAFTA rules, there are no Canadian tariffs on shoes manufactured in the U.S. The Trump administration has already slapped big tariffs on Canadian steel and aluminum. Canada now fears the U.S. is considering possible tariffs on cars and light trucks. It's a move which could seriously hurt the Southern Ontario economy. Foreign Affairs Minister Chrystia Freeland says that Canada, the U.S. and Mexican officials will work through the summer to try and strike a new NAFTA agreement, saying there's a willingness to get it done. And if it wasn't strange enough what Trump said during his speech, this is what he did after. U.S. leader hugging the Stars and Stripes, yes, hugging the flag. This was at the conclusion of the speech where he bashed Canada and defended his policy of separating migrant parents from their kids at the border. All right, let's get back here at home now. A night of celebration and remembrance as hundreds gathered at Barbara Hall Park for the 34th annual AIDS Candlelight Vigil. The event was a part of the city's Pride Month events. The vigil hopes to honor those lost to the disease and celebrate those who live with the virus. Now, Mayor John Tory was also in the audience, lighting candles and honoring the memories of the people who passed away from AIDS and HIV. 7 minutes after 6, we're going downstairs to Roger and Winston.